Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Talking Point platform. TTPTV. Oh, yeah. Unale we pledge with love and loyalty to we sweet, sweet mama salute. Now we all come together as well on for tomorrow. Now we go make salute. And it's where you there, it no matter. Guy where you be, it no matter. Anything you they do, it no matter. Oh yeah, it no matter. Now we putting up stronger one inside Sierra Leone, like a big quantity. Where breeze not a shame. TTPTV, Talking Point platform. Then they give you information about salute. TTPTV, Talking Point platform. For news everything now we country salute. For education, entertainment, political affairs. TTPTV. I will exalt the realm of the free. Great is the love we have for thee. Family united, ever we stand.
Yes, Fambula, welcome back to yet another very important program where they come through the Talking Point platform. Today, now the 28th of October 2020, we get yet another very, very important program. And we always make them very clear to we Salon people in we trust this particular platform, say we go stand for the truth. We always there for support the truth, and we always they make sure say whatever they say and something we get therefore benefits alone. My name na Mohamed Kagbo, and Namina the host and presenter of this program. But today we got some big alejo them where some of you now don't see them faces here. I will start on me downside, Dr. Alpha Koroma, where he happen also for be the station manager of the Talking Point platform. Doc, you can say hi to the people who listen around the world.
Welcome to TPP TV, and thank you for tuning in for the best in online TV news.
All right, and we go to Mr. Ibrahim Kamara, where the media director of the Talking Point platform. Mr. Ibrahim, we go say hi to Fambule who they look we around and listen around the world.
Yeah, good evening, my family. Good for having our back today for can listen to we with Sankuna. We appreciate your effort for the online.
All right, and with appeal to her for letting us share these as far as I can. And family, what we can talk about today now something where a lot of people they surprise. The audit service reports, the audit service commission were headed by Laura Taylor, where according to the constitution of Salon, then give power for audits, government, parastatals, government activities, even the judiciary, parliament, and many other bodies them, where just for know how we money they go, if you don't spend on what well, if you don't know they spend on well, at least just for get a financial discipline. We all know say the COVID-19 don't affect the government bad one. And we all know say now a global problem. But within the short time, a lot of money don't come. WHO send money, EU approved like $40 million, China send money, and boku other Soviet governments and organizations and send money to Salon for help with the COVID-19. If you can remember back in 2014, we get Ebola. where people around the world, country there, organizations there, then send back money to we millions and millions and millions of dollars. We end up understand say some of them money then they some people and thief and personalize them, and it's so pathetic. People are not for die then die. Well, a similar situation where we know like when the COVID-19 don't come back, where money don't come for this COVID-19. Millions and millions and millions of dollars don't come. Now, within a short period, understanding don't come or say some of this money, just like what's in the app in the Ebola, man don't begin to come back, put them in their pockets, personalize them, make an own. So the audit service, as where constitution give power for audits, make a statement, send a letter for say they want check for know what's happened with XYZ, and for make a report to Salon people and to the parliament. The government of President Julius Mada Bio, through the Attorney General, then block the activity, the work of Laura Taylor, then cite say na state of emergency. As a result, the audits not forgo before. Why we take this very personal, we see say this ironic because very recently we see the stance where the same government take for fight corruption at the country, where they accuse the previous administration of massive looting at the country, and even the white paper recommends some of them therefore seize them property there. So the point now is, if this same very government where one fights corruption, they try for cover something there, like for hiding them, because the government they preach about transparency, accountability. We ask the question, what did the government they hide? Why do not go allow Laura Taylor for doing job, for do the findings and investigate, find out if the alleged money they wouldn't say no loss, if not true, or if not true. And this thing, not to say an extraordinary thing, even though Ebola time, same audit business take place. But anyway, family like I mentioned earlier, we get them BB guests there, then we can tell you much more about this. Now we'll go to you, Doc. Tell me, the first question is the government, in office of the government, the identity when it comes to this. Walk with through this.
Well, pa, now the $1 million question, that one, and it really baffling for CEO, Attorney General and Minister of Justice, and they write such thing. For me, is sort of silly, but at the same time very sad, as you don't rightly mention, because the present administration, the champion, they say that the champion the fight against corruption, they want accountability and transparency. And we see with regards to the Commission of Inquiry and the white paper and all, we come out of the recommendations of confiscating people and property and people and for pay, which it is a step in the right direction for people in the past administration. We've been done eat money or misuse public funds for refund them. But then again, one go ask, waiting good for the goose, not good for the gander? If we fight corruption of the past, definitely we get forfeit corruption for in the present. But I just want to give people a quick background of this entire case and how this case emerged and all. If people recall, you get Cherno M. Alpha Bar, where him and other people and they run the Africanos Press, they can do several investigative pieces, them journalism, where now them be exposed the scandalous wage bill, now the Ministry of Finance and other places, then they do a lot of good work for the people of Salone, not only presently, but even during the past regime, they always don't try for expose the excesses of public officials, them, as you rightly mentioned, even during Ebola funds them. So yeah, the Attorney General, as I say, is baffling, because the people in the audit service, the Audit Service Act of 2014, give them the right for let them audit and report any public office, any statutory component way now the salon people in the fund for let them audit and report. So the audit service be don't do a draft report on NACOVEC, we na the national something for coronavirus emergency response. You know, then we don't do these audit reports in a draft report. So within 15 days, the audit service so the permanent secretary na the Ministry of Justice and to the administrator na NACOVEC say we don't get so and so findings. We expect to now within 15 days for give a written feedback, you know, of we and in a review we findings and whatever. But all of a sudden, instead of then get this written report from the people in NACOVEC, we get this letter from the Attorney General, I think Mr. Anthony Brewer, where they give 2 instances we make the nugget for cooperate with the audit service alone. First, they say we're in emergency situation, presently public state of emergency. I mean, waiting that get for do it for just pull letter, for just pull receipt of how na procure certain things, how na spend certain money, everything they record. I mean, when I get finance people where they work for NACOVEC, waiting at the difficulties for reply to the audit service and the Auditor General, Mrs. Taylor Pierce and all. And the second is cite say the president only the administrator and other people in NACOVEC answerable to, not even in the Attorney General. Can you imagine? And he cites some form of constitutional instrument of 2020 because of this emergency. I mean, this is very, very scandalous. I mean, a scandal even to the president. This man, the scandal, the president. This now president with a champion fight against corruption. Waiting at the difficulty, una put the paper and answer to the people in audit service alone and finish about that. Waiting on the need for start they use and legal technicality. The people in care less about. Only thing where the Sierra Leone people want to see is accountability and transparency.
Yes, okay, thank you very much. Mr. Ibrahim, you na man way study accounting, you know, a specialist. Tell me, what does this mean for financial discipline when a country whenever we try for find out what's happening, we're not able to know. Let's put her in the area of a business person. Now anything serious, if a business person there, you know, they check what he gets and what he they buy, what they sell, what the profits, gross profits and net profits, gross losses, net losses. Walk me through this system.
Well, the first thing we can misunderstand as Sierra Leoneans and generally, you know, whether instead of the audit, like audits alone and job, not for stop corruption or for detect corruption. That's the first thing. Whether not in government or not the private sector, like we do business. The reason why they audit, not to forgo know if we are corrupt or not corrupt. So now the first shame than they first to the government. The reason where they audit for is plenty. One, now illegal instrument you for do them. You understand? Like even for business, if they audit your financial statement, of course, you supposed for audit them. Then the other reason why you audit them now because you build the trust with your customers and like your suppliers them. So then they don't see you like a credible company when they do business, like all you your dealings and cleaning and fair. Then you get what we call you creditors them before they will supply you goods or do business with you. Then can like foresee an audited financial statement for no say this person will supply, you know what I mean, in cash flow or in dealings and all clean and credible. So we were able to supply them and they're reliable for do business with her. The other key thing, when are the same thing why I believe say Laura Duam a salon. Now for let you know how effective on activities and on the now that they audit for. Audit so they come for kind of loss with loss. They come look the procedure and our principles and how they do with money and all of that stuff them. If we not do them according to the standard. So at the end of the day, then they recommend the advice when I say, of course, doing the cause what they do, they will pick fraud, definitely. But then we'll look the whole system, the overview, and then tell us, say, we are not effective, this procurement procedure, we get this problem, we are not raise the right document for procure, we are not follow the right procedures there. Now, like, they guide you, not to just follow them, they can pick fraud. Of course, do the cause, they can always pick fraud, but that's not to the aim of audit at all. If they come for correct you, say, you know, they do this right, do on the right way, follow the right law, follow the right procedures there. For example, like for governments, the other reason why government supposed for them, because these are a shame. Now, donor-driven economy, where like Salon, we depend on people and we don't give we money for the Ebola. Like for investors, where they help we, why you need for auditor and counsel and say you're accountable. Now, for let them trust you and give more money and for help you. Because you prove to them, say, okay, when I've been giving 10,000, but by this 10,000, we don't spend 2,000 this way. We don't spend 1,000 this way, and we don't spend 5,000, and we get 2,000 change. They be impressed. They be happy for helping them more. But like if we say now, we all can recall during this same Corona money or so, or COVID money, then say, it starts with the procurement of them vehicles and force. We all know what happened. X, Y, Z, they can say, no, you buy SUV. Then they say, no, the SUV is a new one. You understand? Man, they don't even know what's the difference between SUV and no, it's saying a SUV, say no, not a Jeep. Because just don't use for call SUV then as a say a Jeep. You can't know you full, then you go to you don't know and tell them, say, we're not credible. How they go trust you next day? Now the same thing, now the same, I got a related to business. If me want to do business with XYZ company, then you're not allowed for letting, in fact, it's on a law anyway, you for auditor. Any financial statement for let it be approved, it go through the legal, it's for auditor and some of the reason and show you effectiveness, show say you're accountable, and definitely would expect say the government are ashamed that they drive investors and with they and with them business partners and of course for proof say, and of course to Sierra Leoneans and say, you know, they're not serious, they're not mean business.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ibrahim. Now, Mr. Korma, tell me, we want to know, Salon, are we losing the fight against transparency and accountability when it comes to governance?
Yeah, I'm afraid yes. I'm afraid yes. I for be wish for say with the commission of inquiries and things they all they do, and with the amount of recoveries where the ACC don't do first in history, the work where Francis Benkai Fala don't do. For be wish for last say yes, but at the end of the day, we all know say we get a lot of unanswered cases in a salon, unanswered situations them of present regime people them with regards to the 49,000 bag of rice, even this Nakovec issue, this audit business, this standoff we then get with the people them. I'm afraid no. I go say if the fight against corruption not to improve in any way, because at the end of the day, if they get sacred cows, we get people away who they push them say you go na corner where they come, then I don't believe for say the country serious forfeit corruption. And we parliament SF now one place we know they help for law of corruption, because you can imagine, I think the audit report from 2016 to now, Parliament not ever debate or watch into them and call people for can answer things and all. I see the last session of Parliament a few days ago when KKY and others, I think Honorable Tawa and others, they try for champion that's a Parliament need for debate. I think the past previous audit report. I mean, if Parliament no debates, people are not look at those audit reports, they not look at the mistakes where MDs then do, how we want fight corruptions, how we want follow the recommendations the way the audit service they make. Because at the end of the day, the people in where they work like them ministry, department, agency, not all, some they are young people, then care less about those recommendations then. But Parliament they ACC they now then for put and behind people and but I'm afraid we know they see that kind of pressure there because the very audit service alone say less than 20 or 30% of the recommendations them nine people and they follow now the government agency them, which is very sad for Salon.
All right, okay. Mr. Ibrahim, let we look at this way first. Just like what you mentioned, in 2018, government lost 141 billion. We remember that one day, it was very, very like shocking to a lot of people there. And the previous, the government, the current government of President Bio refused for take responsibility in all. Their site say this audit report cover the previous administration come to them, which is okay, it makes sense. Therefore, the figure where the table say 9 loss, they're not to them. Or at least now majority come out, majority now the fault of the previous government. But right now, a leak reports don't come out say more than $100 million according to this new 2019 audit report, where they go for accountable. You don't really like this particular fund, don't miss it. And they try for cover. Tell me about how serious Salon with politicians and when it comes really to financial discipline, fighting corruption, providing basic necessities of the ordinary person.
Now, as I've been starts, because we misunderstand the concept of audit. So that the first thing that they always say. For example, as an auditor, you can't audit a whole government agency. You realize they don't misappropriate any funds. You understand? But at the end of the day, that report, you still get an audit report, what they call a qualified audit report. So they should say, nothing not the owner do right. Money not the loss, but now they at the end of the day, still you able to highlight and say, we are not follow the right processes. So the first thing, like Parliament, you need for debate here and come and correct the things they own and not they do right. It's not just about corruption, or not just for detect fraud. Not so fraud idea about. And it's right what they say, sit up, you not follow the right procedure, do the right thing. This procedure, when I know they follow according to how it's supposed to go. So that's the first thing. So like any government way serious or way want for improve, you need for they look into your audit reports them, of course, and implement the recommendation there. Not to corruption, no idea about. Now, if we come to the corruption aspect of now, I can't do like the corruption aspect. Now, like, I guess a lot of a double standard because like President Bio they try for champion corruption at the country. You don't spend millions of taxpayers' money. You can with commission of inquiry. Go through pay judges and even lawyer Charles Magabin writes them for inquire how much he paid them foreign judges. You don't spend so much money for proof to the international community say you defend corruption. You understand? So like one way where you make a follow-up on that day for let people then really know say you serious for business, you get for work with, for example, we get for work with the audit service. Because like I can ask this question always. If you look, I don't know probably much. If you look like the Anti-Corruption Commissioner Salon, I can look at then we say now the British government or the EU or foreign government and be advise you for even setting up. But we they live in the West. If you can't at the West, then not get anti-corruption commission. You understand? Even get her. But then they tell we say, like we set up, if they try for tell you say, they don't look, they see say we not serious. How we for prove with seriousness? We internal audit, and of course the external auditors, if they work effectively, I remember people like Ike they mentioned, say, we don't even need commission of inquiry in that country, we don't even need anti-corruption commission. You understand? Because they're not getting there. They're not getting because then institutions are then just they work effectively. So for let you see with governments, them then lay back or like they're not serious with audit reports and take them serious, follow their recommendations and take them up in debates, they make the necessary adjustment, they make the correction there, you know, tight the loopholes and where inside them corrupt acts that they take place, then it always shows that they're not serious. No point for like you can't fool people there with commission of inquiry and all that stuff there, you know.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Kamara. Yes. So, family, the main points what we try for bring here now about how serious this government day for fight corruption, because we don't see over the ages whenever a crisis they take place in the country, now the term someone a payday for them. People and there some unscrupulous politician and then at the country, then they wait for let disaster come no more for let them better themselves and their family. When Ebola become in this country, people and they were better. Bad one from people and die. And right now, the COVID still they ravage business people, they ravage the economy, they church the lives of each and every Sierra Leonean on a very hard way. Then within the same spectrum, you get few people where right now, then they embezzle state funds. You know, tell me, Doc, what's not the responsibility of citizens when it comes to when a government not to take them serious in terms of be accountable, transparent, because like when just like what Mr. Kamara mentioned, in the West, there are institutions are not there. What do we for do as citizens for make sure say the government take we serious?
Well, I think for say first of all, as citizens, we get for be honest to ourselves and stop the party picking business. You understand? Now then the first we get for pull now we are with specifically for Sierra Leoneans who left that party picking business. And where you left that party picking business, then you look at things like the audit report. I mean, sometimes even for we people we know the reading right safe. I remember the 141 billion or so case then and the way that scandal every day, we beget Lara na 98.1, I think, with other stations then where they interview and all. Listen to what the woman they say and understand for yourself. Not to waiting party person get for can talk say na this, na that what I've been doing. So first of all, we get for be honest with ourselves. We try for educate ourselves. Even if you read and write, listen other radio stations and other program within the interview people. For like yato, where minister or anybody can't update they lie or even expose you been don't thief money they chase now. Where they lie, you know hard for no. Where they lie, you know hard for no. So I believe say not the first and foremost duty then one in the way you equip yourself. Then at the end of the day, the citizen in biggest power we get now you one man one vote. Come what may now the most rich way you go iba for whoever council or parliamentary or president where if you say this one no get for can play with this way how this one been don't play with. But even before say elections, citizens them can vary their alert like in TV programs and other programs where people voice their opinion, their government ministers they know or government people they know say we they see, we they hear, we they listen and we understand. waiting they go on. We put pressure upon them through sometimes through even the civil society organizations. Then we pressurize them, civil organizations, then they write to them and all for let themselves be very, very active for all public officers they are accountable.
Okay, like to Mr. Ibrahim, you just mentioned something very important. The civil society. What's the role of civil society in then aspect here? For help, walk with me, Mr. Ibrahim. What's the role of civil society when it comes to a very critical issue here, where an institution where government sets for work, then the same government will set this institution, they block this very institution for work. Then who's our fortuna? For to the civil society,
yeah, well, the very unfortunate, because if I answer your question, civil society now, some of them rule and the way make they set them up in our country. Because then therefore they look like waiting and things say like governments, they do right, who say they want to get out of track, they remind them. Not only you force them, but you get for reminder, you get for advocate. Say, then to the way I want to do one and now then where you for do them. Just they remind them of their actual responsibility there. Of course, like they always mention, audits not to think we, in terms of business or as a government, what you get for play with. Now, a very, very important thing na country, or in terms of business, they detect fraud, corruption, they get for no side, effective. It even identify, because it even report lateness, say staff they know they count time, then they off late. It give you a lot of recommend. So like government's not in a way for always takes you, but civil society make key points about the civil society then Sierra Leone. Like they all don't actually kind of compromise the reason why didn't they exist. Yeah. This is the big problem what we get. They all either then guess they don't take sides or then belong to a particular. Some man they get party card, man. They can just come outside. They say then as civil society. So like if the party that they support, they do the wrong thing, they even can they defend them. Because if you look like way back, like the previous administration, you will see the unconstitutional removal of like the VP, nothing and we being going to court. We get landed lawyers and we know the law. They go, they interpret that law, they set bad precedents at that country. You understand? That is similar to no more. Because in society, you will see this government will fail. For example, before we even come, we talk about Andy. For whose side the audits done, because now a law force, legally, the audits don't get the right, not just a legal duty that they do, for call upon any institution at any time, say one review on our activities, on our financial activities, on our for doing. So that a shame for make the Attorney General, we're supposed to be the principal legal advisor to the government, for come forward with any kind of letter and stop or block that and try for play with the law. Say the president's this, answerable to that, and this and that. So, are they related to the role of civil society there? Who side then they, when this don't happen? Would I don't issue any press release? Would I don't go on the media? You don't talk about this. Remind them. But remember, I'm not there for defend the incident now, McKinney, we then go pull lens and they for block, for get access to, and it's they've all been there over the year. Like shame people of McKinney for don't do that day. And it's not for do this, if I come out to step, then be there, then talk. So somebody really need for remind on our way something like this of importance don't happen. For let una really talk, if una mean business on serious. So with credibility and with integrity, then we not get kind of that country. So any institution, they know they function. Now this can make the way people they say, oh, I don't need anti-corruption. So as you said to me, at times they're not necessary. Because when they take sides, when only they pick on the things that way they benefit or the thing they go on a brown envelope for talk about, then when existence not really relevant anyway.
Okay, thank you very much. And as we wrap up to the program, and when we get this information, we decide for come live and can share to people because now we on civic duty with the exercise. we feel so we people deserve for know what's in they go on, because the very governments were supposed for champion accountability and transparency. For now, we not go get another commission of inquiry where another government get for come in future, because we know see two political parties and then they will salon APC, SLPP now by turn. Where we know say from what happens, so definitely it's 99.9%. If the APC get for win back, they get for set up another commission of inquiry. If you remember, when Anes be win the presidency, he set up a commission of inquiry. It just that it not be follow up for say, okay, la go after the man, la just forget. So we feel say like we dey let yourself down. Now, Mr. Doc, follow we just run up. What do you feel? What do you feel about the Justice Department, their role in even protecting? You know, if you say they interfere in the politics or then they do more harm in terms of the peace, stability, good governance system, just like what Mr. Kamara mentioned, the same lawyers will be in other Justice Departments, the same people there, and then defend the president, the ex-president, President Anes Baikoma, say what he do now correcting. He got guys for dismiss Samsumana until lawyers in ECOWAS courts then go prove otherwise. And Salon government lost millions of loans, hundreds of millions of loans. Baku money in the government side of Salon Group and our Justice Department and Indua. Tell me, we get any hope when it comes to anything we'll go look up to the justice? Because again, the reason why they bring come, the opposition get cases there. When they pull like 10 parliamentarians there, then case and then na court, they're not even calling it. And election they cancel now. I put Kubala, one will understand if we get any hope when it comes to justice or how the justice system they support be bad governance in the country.
I think it's a shame, honestly, for see such letter, but not only people away with impeccable CVs and brilliant academic backgrounds than a law officers department, where you think say they hot them for no more than the waiting they do now and waiting they don't do. I mean, where you can look even the AG and tell and say, pa, this one, it no make sense. You understand? But if una 5-10 where they una tawa pa di pa, I believe say the part they take are easy because it afraid repercussions, like even some 10 people then don't resign. But this now with politics na salon way, you know, with afraid repercussion, with the fear say, but also go get other job like this and other things like this. I mean, then go sack me, then go return me. So at the end of the day, the people then get fear, and people then they lack integrity, because too much fear they cause lack of integrity. Because if you get integrity, you must stand against what you know say not correct, from whether na removal of Samsumana or whether, for example, na in this case for let the law department right. I know say not all Monday way they agree with about such letter, but we Brad don't talk, but you just get for to the line. So it's high time people we get career and we get the education and not allowed politicians them for use their office for whether not for stifle corruption, whether not for gain political advantage or whatever. So it's high time. I mean, if that job they pass, you must get another job. People and go even clap for you. This is not the world of social media now, and people and they see people and they hear and they know who is who. People are more or the posterity go must judge you. So it's high time people are left for, especially in the justice system, people are left for just to the line of politicians, and then get enormous powers. I believe they then get enormous powers where if they really know the power we then get, politicians say go afraid say well for take easy, because then guy go really then go chase we. You know, them people know the law, they know it and they do and then get integrity.
Just like
so
how the justice system strong in Malawi, where they all any small things happen, they go to court because they trust the system, you know.
Take example of even Israel. Take example of even Israel, where Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the Justice Ministry can go to court. You understand? People and they work independently according to fact. You understand? So in this case, it's a shame, it's a disgrace. Honestly, a principal legal officer in the country, the people away no law boku one for let them try for stifle auditing. I mean, as Kalmo don't talk. The auditing or they for go chase if them been corrupt or not. Now for just see if things they go well and then follow, lay down rules and procedures. You can use the money, find one. You can use the money, find one, but you know, follow rules and procedure. It's just, I mean, now then for even push Nakovek and tell them, say, una listen. Then people were right, una follow so advise them. But if now they go for go court law, go court president in name, even the court barrier, wait you are with the masses for think. We know they say they corrupt or they don't thief something, but wait till you are, let the Sierra Leonean people and think what is so difficult to review the number and fact.
Okay, so what's in the last word? You can say the last word now to the people and say goodbye.
Well, my last word where I would just say, let the audit service alone continue for do the job. We can only hope, say, moving forward, maybe na the institution are serious on ten for even give the prosecutorial powers. You understand? And for give them power for prosecute, because now they will see say they really they expose IMP them. Not to today. Now one of things where people we know they give enough praise to we auditors then as alone or to this auditor general. We know they give enough praise. You understand, of waiting that they do without fear or favor. So we can only hope, let them continue for do the good job. And to my fellow Regentonian, Francis Ben Kaifala for hoping all them past audit reports here and really go after people and we they make salon or they go salon or they develop. We can only hope a tough thing. No sacred cow. Past, present, as long as you misbehave, they go after you. If they work big for her, look with it.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Ibrahim, you last word before we wrap up the program.
Yeah, well, the reason why we come here, the unfortunate incident will happen where they want audit, then government or through the Attorney General decide for rights and delay them kind of because they're not getting no right for stop and kind of then say okay, no wait for less state of emergency come on. So we just remind them and appeal to them, say, we allow the audit service for do their job. We allow them for let them can review the activities of the COVID-19 operations and how they use the money. They not cancel you, then tell you say anyway, let's go back to like the double standard because look whether they try for proof say then very transparent, they try for fight corruption, talk and do, we be they try for go again over the past administration. You know, they get way out and summarize that. Oh, we not say they are go arrest Ernest. We just been say they go interview her. Now similar thing this now. So now the double standard. When I say the bar refuse for letting just interview her. You understand? Yeah. Not to any other thing. When I say this a kind of a bit similar to interview, whether not the president, the head institution or not the defense way, the Attorney General they try for rights, then just say we want audit now. They not tell you say you don't commit any crime. So what you hide? What you want part? That double standard and they talk one thing, you want to implement against the opposition, but we come to you, your administration, they follow their step then they. So let them stop for the deceive people and that make with people them not they take them serious. So like even way by all standard, waiting in the try for do, fight corruption, set up anti-corruption organization, we're not a very good thing, but other sector, then they look at and say, no, not a political thing this one at the pan. If you serious, you forget for be effective, no language and no aspect, not to just waiting to happen at previous administration, you get for the go after. Waiting don't happen or waiting they happen now. Stop and so you even stop another commission of inquiry, we know we even get another subsequent one like where you can talk.
Yeah.
So like now me advise and most say do you allow the audits and let them do their job. let them just do their job. The mommy not ask for much, you just say, when Allah will, we audit. That's it. Not to in your role anyway, like waiting, doc advice small. In just get for audit, he highlights, I put on law. Police, able take and investigate man for fraud. Anti-corruption, able can take the report, he read them, he do it, he do. Parliament able review the report, you understand, and call any MDA or anybody where they feel say bad recommendation did it for you, then call you. You can explain to them at Parliament. So let it allow the mamile just doing job. That's all.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So thank you very much. So family, now so we come towards the end of this program. This is not just a very crash program. We do it because we feel say it's timely. We want to let people know what they happen, and that make we come quickly. And if you just join with this now Talking Points platform, and today they talk about how the governments don't stop the COVID-19 the investigation with them for COVID-19. This is very, very difficult for understand. The reason why we so particular about this, we governments they set up institutions there for faithful good governance, transparency, and accountability. If the very same government and they block back their institution for work, we feel say like this now, like now a slap now the face. We a slap with So we they appeal to the government for make them not hide nothing, allowed the Audit Service Commission for do their job, made them discover, then find out whether the COVID-19 funds they utilize them judiciously, whether the money lost or whether money not lost. It is not just simple basic thing that what we look for. And they look forward to the much talked about fighting corruption for we begin seeing from the government's success, because we don't want to let the effects against corruption be focused on the opposition. If we start right now and that make we come quickly and just try for let to people know say the government of President Mada Bio don't block Laura Taylor where they had audit service for investigate into some missing figures, some missing money. Now the COVID operations through NACOVA. So my family, my name is Mohamed Kagbo, we go tap here and we go try to do follow up with this, follow bring calm another segment to now. Until then, bye-bye.
Platform, TTP-TV. Oh yeah. Unale we pledge with love and loyalty to we sweet, sweet mama salute. Now we all come together as well on. For tomorrow, now we go make salute. And it's how where you there. No matter, try where you be. It no matter, anything you they do. It no matter, oh yeah. It no matter. Now we putting up stronger one inside Sierra Leone, like a big quantity. We breeze not a shame. TTP-TV, Talking Points platform. Then they give you information about salute. TTP-TV, Talking Point platform for news everything our country salute. For education, entertainment, political affairs. TTP-TV, we putting up Tanga one inside Sierra Leone, like a big quantity. We breeze not a shit. TTP-TV, Talking Points platform. Then they give you information about salute. TTP-TV, Talking Point platform for news everything our country education, entertainment, political affairs, Chinti TV.